can tell, we are going to be talking all ghee today. Ghee, clarified butter, okay, Punjabi version as I call it at home. So we're going to have a quick little tutorial on how to make it easily at home, as well as talk a little bit about ghee as well. So without further ado, let's get this yummy video started. So that's right, we're health, wellness, and beauty, and today we're talking all health today. Hey, so I always give a shout out. So today's shout out is going to be going to No Frills. No Frills. Yes, I was there the other day, and the guy said, I don't know why Brampton can't keep butter on their shelves. So I gave him an explanation, and then I posted a little funny thing on social media, and I got some response for you who want the ghee. So I want to make sure I don't forget anybody, so I wrote them down, okay? After my naughty native friend, Valerie, my Brampton guardian days, Amrit, my cousin, Rafina, my oily sister, Ritu, my naughty knitter, Ray, my oily brother, but Ray. We got Odio, who's my mountain climber. We got Kathy, mountain climber. And we got Sarah, my mountain climber. And Elizabeth, who is my oily sister. So I hope I didn't forget anybody. So we're going to get started. So what is ghee? Okay, everybody talks about ghee. What is ghee? So ghee is clarified butter. But if you're like me and you don't know what clarified means, I'm going to tell you right now. Clarified is basically taking a liquid and making it clear or pure. So now you know. So the clarified butter is made by taking the butter and heating it up so that it separates. So the milk caramelizes into a solid, and the liquid that's left over is your ghee. So it has been used in India and Pakistan for thousands of years. And now I know it's gone beyond the Indian scope of things, and you find it in regular stores. So now you know. How do you use ghee? So we talked about India and Pakistan cultures. I use it on my roti. I use it in my curry dal and vegetables. I use it in just about everything. And you're saying, how can I use it day to day? You can put it on toast. You can bake with it. You can saute your vegetables with it. You can use it for just about anything. I had it on my corn the other day, my barbecued corn, and it was delicious. So I hope you can find different ways to use it, and it's so versatile. So I start with 2 sticks of butter, and this time I'm using lactose here, which I've never used before. And it makes about a 1 jar and maybe a little bit. So what you want to do is start on a medium flame, and we're going to melt the butter. So as you can see, it's about halfway through, and it's still melting away on medium heat. And as you can see, there's just a little bit more left to melt, and make sure it's all melted. Now, as you can see, it's all melted, and what you want to do at this point is bring it to the lowest flame possible. There's hardly a flame here, and you just want to keep it on low, at a very low simmer. So even at a low flame, you can see it's starting to thicken up. And as you can see, it's getting quite thick at this point. And the most important part here is that you don't want it to stick to the bottom of your pot. So important. That's why I keep stirring it to make sure it doesn't burn. Now it's going to take time to thicken up, but you can kind of see it's clearing up, and it might take some time. So be patient here. While we're waiting patiently, I just want to let you know that ghee does not have to be refrigerated. Yeah, you can just leave it on your counter, it's fine. On a very hot day, yeah, probably it will melt, but then it will solidify again. And it's amazing, you don't have to put it in the fridge. It's a beautiful yellow color, yay! As well as it doesn't burn as quick. So that's why you can use it in sauteing at high temperatures. It doesn't burn as quickly as butter. So it looks different, right? So if you move it over, you can see that it's clearing up. So important not to burn it at this point. Yes, we're still waiting. Takes a while. Anyway, I just want to talk to you about acrylamide. I think that's how you say it. Acrylamide is a chemical. When you're actually making things on very high temperature, there's a chemical called acrylamide, and it can be released into the food. So I know ghee reduces the acrylamide in there. And acrylamide is basically, they found in animals, it increases the cancer risk in them. And now they have done studies on humans, but it hasn't been proven. But when they talk about things like this, so the less the better, of course. So as you can see, it's getting much clearer, and you can turn it at a lower flame if you like. You can stir it if up to you, but there's no harm in stirring it, but just don't let it stick to the pot. It's getting more clear, and as you can see, the foam on the top is not that much. I'm surprised. This is great butter. At the bottom, there are still some more solids, which is okay. We're going to be removing them, but much more clear, and don't burn it. Patience, patience, patience. Hey! Also want to tell you another fact. If you're lactose tolerant, you can have ghee. Yeah. The dairy protein casein, Casein, and all these terms I'll link down below, that has been removed when you do this procedure. So people who cannot take lactose are okay to ghee. So give it a try and let me know how it goes for you. So what you kind of want to do is start skimming at this point the stuff that's on the top. So I usually skim as I go and put it in my little plate because we don't need this part. And you're going to keep skimming as much as you can and let it simmer as we go. And this is what came off so far, and this is actually going to be thrown in the garbage. We're almost there. We're almost at the home stretch. One last fact I wanted to give you was that, people talk about different kinds of fats. Saturated fats, polysaturated fats, monosaturated fats. And I've linked down below the difference between ghee and butter in those three different areas. And if you are looking at your intake of the fat and the calories, honestly, the difference is so slight that it might not even make an impact. So depending on what you're looking for in terms of your health, but honestly, very slight. So go for the ghee. It's more yummier and cheaper. So towards the end, I actually tried a strainer, and it worked really good for a little bit. But then as you get more of that solid stuff in your strainer, I kind of struggled with getting the liquid part out because that's the good stuff, right? So you decide what works for you. I will probably stick with my spoon, but yeah. And as you can see, there's just a little bit on the sides and it's all clear, so it's time to strain it. The other thing is that you want to do this while it's hot, because once it solidifies, you won't know what is the good part and what is the bad part. So you want to strain it when it's hot. Make sure you use a metal strainer. So this is how much came out of this butter that I used. But I usually get way, way more than this. And I'll show you a bowl. I usually get like a medium-sized bowl out. And this is the bowl that I'm talking about. But this time, this was great butter. So it's time to strain. So you strain it into the container that you want it to go into. And so it looks like I just have a little bit more than a jar. And remember, put everything in because it's going to go through the strainer. And then what you want to do is just close the lid tight and give it a good clean. And you just wait for it to cool down. So this is what I've made. It's just one jar and a little bit, and as you can see, it's all totally liquid. And this is the garbage part. The stuff at the bottom is not going to be used. And then what we do is wait for it to cool down. Usually in about 24 hours, it will solidify. So my friend Ray actually made some ghee on the weekend before I actually did this video, and he said he got some brown butter. Brown butter, which means that he kind of burned it a little bit, so it went a little bit beyond the clear liquid, and so it turned brown. It may have not tasted burned, but you probably burned it a little bit. But Ray, as we said, don't leave your baby alone. And that's what he said. He did walk away. So that's a quick lesson for you, Ray, and anybody else out there. Just watch it like a hawk. If you're not ready to stay there for a good 45 minutes to an hour, do it another time. That's a good tip for you. Thanks, Ray. Watch the baby. So this is what I got from 2 sticks of butter. So 1 and a little bit. This is like a spaghetti sauce jar, and a little bit over here. Now I found this butter that I really use, which I never use, was a lactancia one, and it didn't have as much to remove, so I will probably buy that again for sure. But what you also want to do, I put always in a little container first. I never put my spoon in the big one, because if you get, like, say, I don't know how to explain it, you take it from something else and you use that same spoon, it will go mildewish. So always clean your spoon and use a fresh spoon when you want. But this is the lovely color that you want. It's quite hot and it's still solidified, but it matches. We match today. Yes. So how I would use it, let's say I'm making a lentil dish, okay, dal. What I would do is just take a spoonful and put it right into my dal. You do not need to warm it up. If your dal is already hot, it's going to melt right in. And it's got that yummy, yummy smell, and this taste is to die for. And even as I was cooking it, it smelled really, really delicious. It doesn't smell like butter. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so good for you. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one today on the tutorial. Let me know if you try it. Let me know how it works for you. And it is an easy procedure, right? But it just takes patience. We need patience. That's number 1 key. And I'm not a cook. By all means, I'm allergic to the kitchen, okay? But you know what? It's an easy thing to do, but you just need to stay with it, keep calm and patient, and you'll have some really, really good ghee. Enjoy. See you next time. So for those who are asking what Indians do with their milk, 2 things come to mind. 2 things. We make lots of cha, lots of tea, homemade tea, and it requires a bit of milk. So that's one thing. And the other thing is we make homemade yogurt. We don't usually buy yogurt from the store. Again, same thing. It's patience, but it's usually done. I do it overnight. And if you're interested in wanting to watch a video on how yogurt is made at home, just drop it down in the notes, contact me, do whatever. And yeah. Stay healthy, everyone. See you next time.